All right. Well, if you're watching or listening to this, this is episode one of the Murder Van podcast. You'll kind of see how we came up with the idea a little bit. We went to the podcast not really knowing at all what we were going to be doing, what I wanted to be doing. Um, See this as an exploration in, I don't want to say narcissism, I say like trying to look at myself a little bit more through spending time with these people. So, uh, yeah, enjoy the Murder Van podcast.
Murder Van! This is it. We're officially starting this thing now. It's official. It's started now. Let's add in a couple more people from the waiting room. We've got Ben with us. We got Craig and Elijah. We got all these people joining us right now. Oh, shit. There we go. Yeah. And here's Adam with hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Yes. We got Ben, Craig, Elijah.
AKA Grill Daddy D.
Oh, my God. That song just cut right out. All right, yeah, Grill Daddy. No, I'll take it. That works. That drop was about to hit, but at least we got the beginning. I'll play the rest of the song whenever we get to the end. I don't give a shit. All right, well, that's the start of it. I'm Taylor Lozano. This is, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what any of this is right now.
We haven't decided yet.
Yeah,
so a podcast.
It's a podcast.
Untitled podcast.
It's an untitled podcast where, like, we're going to hang out. We're going to talk about shit and things that are going on in our lives. And, I got it from, I haven't told you guys yet. I got it from just the idea of, like, okay, so I'm just going to show you guys. I was obsessed with this, like, fucking podcast, right, for, like, the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And, I told a bunch of you guys about it before. It's called Harmontown, and that's Dan Harmon on the right and Jeff B. Davis in the middle, and then Spencer Crittenden in the back on the far left. Dan Harmon is the creator of Rick and Morty, and he's done he did this podcast for about 10 years. It's one of the longest running podcasts. It's one of the most popular that's ever existed. It won a bunch of awards for like the one of the few podcasts you should see. And basically, like, I followed this for the last 3 or 4 years of my life, and that's only not even half of the amount of time they did this stuff. Essentially, when I was like getting into it, the more and more I watched it, at the same time, it's like he talked a lot about shit he was going through and how he started the podcast because he was like, I'm depressed. I got fired from Community. And he's also the writer of Community. I don't know if you guys know about that show, but he was
Rick and Morty.
Yeah. And he was like, I got fired, so I'm gonna. He didn't start the podcast because he got fired, but he started touring the podcast because he got fired. Mm-hmm. And basically from there, he's like had a lot of personal discovery through doing this podcast. So it's kind of like, I honestly am like kind of trying to copy that a lot. I'm honestly kind of trying to be like, okay, I want people to listen to how I'm feeling, and I want people to look at me, and I want like the attention, honestly, is like a big part of it. But it's also like it's just a matter of like, I really, really liked the idea of every week you sit down and you listen to this group of people and you like get used to them, right? And after watching so many episodes of it, guys, right after I finished it, I started rewatching it. There's 360 episodes and I'm on episode 100. Yeah. It's 360 episodes. I'm on like 150. They finished back in January. I love this podcast. Like, no joke. This shirt is from a quote on that podcast. Like
Chinese is a quote.
No, it says Chinese murder. It says Chinese murder van.
Okay.
It's like this is literally like what the podcast is, right? They had a topic.
Trump's worst nightmare.
Where right? Somebody was like
Chinese murder van. I don't like it.
No, and Trump did say it too, but like part of it was a joke. It started as him being like the dungeon master, the guy who like runs Dungeons and Dragons for them, which I want to do. Like one day they were like, Spencer, how you doing? And he was like, you guys heard about these Chinese murder vans? And he just did that for like 6 months. So then it became a thing. So that's just what I'm saying is like this idea that we can just shoot the shit and do whatever we want and talk about whatever we want. They talked about magic mushrooms for like an entire episode one time. Like we could do that. We could talk about fucking the tax franchise board, Adam. We could.
Yeah, perfect.
That's not happening.
Only slide I have on him.
Only board.
I mean, I don't know. What have you guys been thinking leading up to this? Like, how are you guys doing in regards to this? Like, how are you doing right now? You just to check in and everything. What do you think of all this? What do you think of what we're doing here?
As far as what?
I mean, just in general of everything I've said so far. Like, what do you think that this show is then? Like, what's the name? What's the focal point? Like, what is the goal? Because they had a goal, and I kind of had a similar idea of like, we did the same thing with the fourth wall and stuff of like, we're going to start a project that includes people and get as many people there. And they did the same thing. They were saying like, oh, we're going to be a pinnacle for people who are like disabled and stuff and who have developmental disabilities. And they actually, in my opinion, are a big part of why like Asperger's autism is now researched more, because the whole Harmontown thing, he found out during community that he has Asperger's because he took an online test, and you know, people were like, well, you wrote Abed and he has Asperger's probably. And so like, I don't know, I just like, I relate to a lot of the shit on the same level of I'm no TV writer, but I have things that I feel like, well, it's like Adam talking about Arby's every half hour.
I mean,
I'm not slamming on you. I'm just saying, like, Adam keeps a conversation going.
Oh,
Adam,
I will. Yeah. No,
he
I will.
Say something, and that's just what I mean. Is like, most people won't talk. They especially right now with Zooms. Like, I feel like you four are really comfortable doing this Zoom right now. But the thing most people are not comfortable with is this idea that like everybody's going to be looking at me at some point or another. How do I just speak stream of conscious? That's why I think like when we do these things, I have a tendency to talk for like 15 minutes with nobody fucking interrupting me, because like everybody's like, I don't want to interrupt them. I don't want the attention on me. So
we don't want to be rude.
Yeah, it could be that, or maybe I'm being rude. But the thing that it's saying is like,
what is rude?
What is rude?
It's a band? Question mark.
Yeah, it is. Is it?
Was that the song? Was that the band or the song? I don't remember. It's been too long.
Who's the band?
That like reggae crap song you remember?
What
the song? You mean why you gotta be so rude?
Yeah. Okay. So it's the song, not the band. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
No, it's rude. Yeah, that
song is rude because it's not good.
It's not good.
I enjoyed it.
I don't know that song at all.
You enjoyed it like twice.
You don't know that song? What?
No idea.
It's not too bad.
I don't know most songs.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't think I knew about Kanye till I was 18.
Well, you know what? That's the sad part, because up until recently, Kanye was cool. Trust me, you've tried
recently.
The whole situation.
Oh, recently.
Within the last when did his mom pass? And he came down like Jesus.
That was like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, 10 years ago.
He was basically cool until you found out.
When did the Fish Sticks episode come out on Sunday?
Oh my god!
My Beautiful Dark Fantasy.
Complained about it.
Good.
And he complained about it and said he didn't get the joke for the episode.
No, he said the opposite. He said like, oh, I guess South Park really got me, which is like, okay, but you don't have to be like serious about it. You could have just been like, yeah, I'm kind of a wiener. Like,
well, I'm pretty sure he said he didn't like the joke.
He might.
He was like, but why'd they make me gay though? Why'd they make me?
Because
that's
it's comedy. It's funny.
That's why he and Trump get along, because they have a tendency, they'll do something where they'll be like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. Guess you got me. And then an hour later, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck are you
Right on
doing?
Twitter.
There's a quiz out there that like they give you a series of quotes and you're like, who said this quote, Kanye or Trump?
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
All right,
That's
so
really funny.
newest game. Kanye or Trump? That's our new segment. Let's let's see. I have something for this right here. Oh, I know. Oh no, it didn't work. Never mind. Okay,
Oh.
I was gonna play a song. But
Dang.
Kanye or Trump. So let's see here. Adam, you're gonna go first. Okay.
Oh, okay.
The greatest pain in life. No, not that one.
Absolutely, Kanye.
I was never really good at anything except for the ability to learn.
Kanye?
Kanye.
Yeah, that's Kanye.
Oh, I'm good. All right. I
Trump,
got one
that's too deep for Trump.
Okay. Okay, Ben. Well, let's see then, huh?
Whoa.
Let's take a look right here. Oh my God.
Oh, I got one.
Ben,
Oh,
Ben,
no.
What?
Ben, real quick, I have one for you. Who said, I have a great relationship with the blacks?
Oh, no.
Trump.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that's Trump all
How'd
the
you
way.
know?
Come
How'd you know?
on.
What's yours, Ben? What's yours? Who you asking?
Grab him by the pussy. Who said that?
Oh, we know who
Kanye
said
or
that.
I know.
You gotta find ones that can work for. I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says that no, you know who that one is. That's okay. So I guess they're easier to.
This is
discern.
easier than I thought. Yeah. This is much easier than I thought.
Well, like it
I
also
got you
depends.
guys. I got you
Go.
right here. Taylor, I would never want a book's autograph. I'm a proud non-reader of books. Trump or Kanye?
That's Kanye.
I want to say that's Kanye.
Yes, Kanye.
Yeah.
There you
Because
go.
we know Trump doesn't read books. He's not gonna say it. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't
Well, you
need to
know,
admit
he
that.
might though.
I feel like, well, no, I feel like
Best
Trump.
book. He read the best
Read
book.
the art of the deal.
Yeah, I feel like Trump would say that he reads books, even though he doesn't. I feel like he would say like, "I only read the best books. I only read
That's
some books,
fair,
the
yeah.
biggest books."
Correct.
Books.
I want to know who said, "We're all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it."
Ooh.
Hmm.
That sounds too deep for Trump.
That sounds,
Okay,
yeah, that
I'll,
sounds more intelligent than what Trump would say. So Kanye.
But they got along, and that's the hardest part.
I want to be the first one to get it wrong, so I say Trump.
Yeah. See, you would have got like
You
What's the
Whoa,
term?
I heard that.
So nobody actually said it.
Excuse me.
no. You would have gotten it if I said the original version, which is we all self-conscious. Well, no, I feel like, but maybe Trump would say that. That's something worth asking. Say we all self-conscious.
I
and
can make
Trump
up two
will-
We all
self-conscious.
all self-conscious.
Yeah, you would say it. Okay.
self-conscious.
I don't like that we're talking about me right now.
Well, now we know the. All right. Well, that's
All right,
that's
that's a wrap.
Kanye West or Donald Trump. Okay. So I had another subject I wanted to bring up with you guys. Okay. So a couple less like. Oh, you guys should see this too. I was gonna show this as well. Who the fuck is? Oh, Jill's calling me. Oh.
Oh, no, not Jill.
What'd you do?
Oh, jeez.
Yes,
What didn't
Jill.
you do?
Wait, put it on this loudspeaker.
What's up?
Yeah.
I'm currently doing the podcast.
Our
Just so you
first
know.
guest, our first call.
Our first caller in. How are you doing?
She's gone. All right. So I was going to show
Wait,
you
now
guys.
she's calling me. No, I'm just
this-
kidding.
Whoa.
Whoa!
So-
What is that?
Aww.
Whoa.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Who's that ugly little kid?
Is
Yeah,
that
right?
Trump or is that
Isn't
Kanye?
that fucking creepy looking? I noticed if you guys look, it looks like my eyeballs are bigger than my head. And so like my eyes can't open all the way. It looks like to me. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna show you guys. Not that. Oh yeah, this is another podcast. Yeah, I wanted to talk about it for a second just because.
I have not watched that yet, but it's on my watch list.
Okay, so it's called The Midnight Gospel. It's really fucking sick. It's this guy Duncan Trussell. He essentially did a bunch of psychedelics back in the day when his mom died of cancer, and he got diagnosed with cancer. And like his wife left him and stuff. And he learned all these things. He's a very big like pro psychedelic person. But I'm not gonna go into psychedelics. I'm just pointing out this show was like really, really crazy good. If you're into Rick and Morty, if you're into like podcasts, essentially this show is his podcast, and then they dub this like cartoon over it. And the idea is it's in the future when humans have evolved to this elevated celestial being that connects with other celestial beings by doing podcasts all over the multiverse.
Yeah, it's definitely psychedelic.
Yeah, right? And so he travels to different universes, and then he's like, hey, can I interview you for my video cast? And then from there on out, it's just the podcast, but like it's people killing each other and mulching each other and eating each other and stuff while the scene's going on.
Wow.
I can't go into it more than that because it'll get super convoluted. But check it out because if we're talking podcasts, I mean, this is another example of the kinds of shit that I want to do. I want to be able to just talk about weird stuff that culminates in a picture like that. So this is what I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
I don't want this to be a video game podcast, first and foremost. Let me just say that. Don't want this to be a video game podcast.
But we got to talk about this game, though.
I got this game 2 days ago, and it has ruined my goddamn life. First day I got it, and I played it for like 5 hours, and basically the game is a chimpanzee simulator.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, beginning of the game's chimpanzee simulator, and as you earn skills and stuff like that, you start becoming early man. And the way I see it is it's kind of like one of those educational video games like Mario in the Time Machine or Sonic Math or any of those things. It's just to teach you some
Sonic
shit.
Math?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
Basically, the game is teaching you early basic anthropology and how the hominids on a very extremely basic level, how they might have developed slightly. And so you kind of get a very basic representation of what they are. The first day I played about 5 hours in the evening when I got it and couldn't figure it out. I was getting pissed off. And when I was basically the game, they go, oh, we're not going to tell you how to play the goddamn game. That's the game.
Oh.
You go into, it's stupid as shit.
What system is it?
No, it's brilliant.
It's on PS4 and Xbox One, right?
PC
That's
also.
the problem. Okay, the thing about them not telling you how to play the game is the brilliant part of the game itself. Your ancient, whatever pre-human, I don't remember what it's supposed to be. The anthropological term for whatever they are in the game.
Hominids.
Hominid. We'll use hominid for now. They don't know shit either.
Yeah,
So
but
figure it out.
that's what I'm saying is like, if you were to play the game like an actual hominid, you are legitimately not going to figure this shit out for like 10 million years. Because
if you're a rookie, geez.
No, it's not if you're a rookie. Look, I've been playing this game for no joke, maybe like 30 hours. And I just found out today you can bang 2 rocks together. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, it is a hard learning curve.
Did you use cheat codes?
No,
is there a cheat code to turn into a regular human?
Walkthrough. I know you did a YouTube walkthrough.
And I was like, how do you learn more stuff? And they were like, start banging rocks together. And I was like, I've been like murdering tigers and stuff. I could have been banging rocks together the whole damn time.
You're telling me you'd rather bang rocks than murder a tiger?
No, I didn't want to bang the rocks together.
I would rather go Joe Exotic on those tigers and bang a couple rocks together.
I don't think you can go Joe Exotic in the game, unfortunately. But what
That's
I
unfortunate.
do know is the game is amazing. The gameplay kind of is extremely boring because you're watching an animal. Yeah, right? You're watching an animal bang rocks together, make sticks pointy, and then kill things. And then what is it? There's monkey sex in the game, but the monkey sex is groom the monkey, breed the monkey, give birth to a new monkey, and then start everything over.
Where
And,
can I
like,
buy this game again?
Anywhere, everywhere, the whole life, man.
Whole life.
Is
The
it like The
whole-
Sims but monkeys?
Yeah, dude, it's like The Sims but monkeys. It's the shit. And I'm just saying, like, I could go on about it for hours, but the thing is the first day when I woke up the next morning and I was like, I'm gonna start playing this game over again from the beginning now that I know how to play the game. I played from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight. I played all fucking day.
And
And
how many rocks did you bang?
I don't none the whole
Oh.
day.
Oh,
And when I
okay.
went to bed, I'm going to bed and I felt sick. Like
Did you
physically
dream about
sick.
monkeys?
Kind of. I mean,
You tried
yeah,
grooming Jill?
basically. I always try grooming Jill, bro. That's just a normal thing. I clean up her spaces and stuff like that. We might as well be hominids in this damn household the way we
Ooh.
live. No, seriously, you have no idea. Like, I just leave shit wherever it's coming off my body, and then I find it 7 months later, and I'm like, what is this artifact?
I was
Did you
really
have
hoping that, you were going to turn your computer on and show us that you're playing right now, too.
No, I'm not. I had to stop. I'm actually excited about doing this today, so I didn't play the game, but it was just like, I know joke at the end of the day, and I mean that just goes to show too how like the effect that these things can have on us, right? I felt sick at the end of the day. I had done it nonstop. The only break I took was to do some dishes, and then when dinner came around, Jill was like, "Do you want me to make dinner?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't really feel like doing it," and just like kept playing the game. And then when I went to bed, my stomach hurt and like my head, it's like when you're staying up late reading a book and you like keep lolling a little bit, but it felt bad. Like I felt like I was about to get sick really bad. So play it. It's a really good game. And it's worth your time. But I'm just warning you because it's like,
Just don't play 16 hours in a row.
Yeah, don't play 16 hours in a row. And I mean, the only reason I played it literally was because I was trying to cleanse my palate from another game I was playing all the time, which was, you know, again, we're not going to go into video games. How are you guys doing? What's going on with y'all?
Good.
Yeah, that's
Playing.
all I have like on my docket to talk about right now. So what do you? What's going on with you?
Those are all the
Jay
same things
chilling.
I had on mine, so no.
Elijah, what are you looking at?
Huh?
What are you looking at?
No, I'm playing Candy Crush.
Oh,
Good.
Okay, wait.
I'm a
No,
multitasker.
Amanda
I'm
brings
full
up
of
a good point though.
conversation.
Who have you got? There are people that do that though, right? There are people that like go to meetings and stuff and they pull porn up on their phone and they're like looking at it while they're doing other stuff. It's
That's
like,
Yeah, those
Ballsy.
people are weird. Those people are weird.
no. But
No, they're
while
just
like,
forward.
and it's like I don't. If you're subscribed to Reddit, it's one thing, but it's another thing if you're like actively. It's another thing if you're like talking to your friend and he's like telling you about his game and you're like, and then you just pull your phone up and you're like watching porn while you're talking to the person versus like, oh, I'm scrolling through Reddit. Oh, there happens to be a naked picture. I'll save that for later and then move on.
That's
Look, there's
stupid.
pictures of cats. Like, that's normal, right?
The other type of pussy.
So how do we go from Candy Crush to porn? I mean, you know, I don't see Candy Crush as being
We
the
can talk
equivalent
about
of
Candy
porn,
Crush.
but,
It
but
is.
you know.
As addictive, I would say, personally. I mean,
It's truly addictive. Let me see what level I'm actually on.
can't
No.
you beat Candy Crush? Like, why are you still playing it years later?
Because I literally I have to do something pretty much at all times. If I don't have anything I'm truly like in my hands doing anything, I need to do something. Like I'm fully here for this conversation at all, but I'm definitely like I need something to do. I
Okay,
can't
so
just sit at a computer.
what does everybody else here feel like when their phone is not with them? And this is not a slight on you at all, Elijah, but like when your phone isn't with you, that
Mhm.
you are incomplete. Does anybody else?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
No.
There's
bad.
right on my phone.
Because I've been
I
thinking
mean-
about this a lot lately. Is like there's this weird thing happening right now, right? Where it's like, and I notice it with our students all the time. The second that fucking phone's not in their hand, they're freaking out. And it's like, you know, we could say we're attached to the phone like as a drug kind of thing. But what if it's different? What if it's
Mm.
like we're using them
good.
so much? I mean, in the same way that you would say like for Brave New World, right? Has you guys read Brave New World?
Oh,
Right?
yes.
Yeah.
Soma. Soma is a drug that they take in Brave New World. It's a psychedelic and it's pretty addictive. And basically the thing is like that's so normal for them to take it. So for us, that's the cell phone. The cell phone is normal for us to hold on to and to have it. It's a tool that we utilize in our day-to-day life. And if we didn't have it versus a chimpanzee, we wouldn't know what to do with our lives. The chimp would be fine. So it's this idea that like, I feel like this is going in a way different direction, but I feel like we're turning into robots. What do you guys think?
A really cool point, because like in the Joe Rogan podcast with Elon Musk, like he was talking to him about that kind of stuff, because Elon Musk has this super complicated thing that he's been building called Neuralink, which I don't even know all the details on that, but basically they were diving into the idea of like humans becoming cyborgs in essence, because we're being enhanced by AI. And his point was, it's like, well, we already are kind of cyborgs, because our phones are basically an extension of ourselves at this point. Our phones are an extension of our being. We don't go anywhere without our phones. So we basically already are cyborgs. Which
It's
is
inevitable.
Trippy, yeah.
It's inevitable. I mean, look, they've already released the sex dolls that are nearly perfect.
Yeah,
We've all seen them.
that's a valid point to make. I mean, think about it. There could be a day where society functions solely off of the system of locking certain men up to these machines where all they do is watch porn all day in VR, and there's a thing attached to their wiener that just sucks them off constantly. And it harvests their seed, and then a society of advanced women who built these jizz suckers are all running the business, and men just stay in these machines. Like that is a possibility.
We know when you're stealing from Rick and Morty, Taylor. We've seen every damn episode.
That is not Rick and Morty. That is actually, no, it is Rick and Morty. There is one Rick and Morty where they have the jizz sucker, but there's another.
Yeah, there was one like that.
There's one
There
where
was
the women
another-
are,
Well, yeah, where the women run society and
The one where
they
he
make
had the sex
Zorb.
bot.
The Zorb.
Yeah.
Raising
But-
All
Zorb
of the
season
same
1.
factors we were just talking about.
That idea was taken from a book called A Boy and His Dog that was turned into a film in the 70s.
I
A
don't
Boy
believe
and His...
books.
Oh,
I don't
well,
believe in
it's a,
books. They're not
it's a
real.
movie too, motherfucker.
Wait,
Okay, I do believe in
how does that title,
Yeah.
A Boy
I have
and
questions
His
too.
Dog, goes to jizz suckers? And this is where I'm extremely concerned.
All right.
What
As you
happened
should
to
be.
the dog?
A Boy and His Dog is the book that the video game series Fallout is based off of. Essentially, it takes place in an apocalyptic meltdown, and that's why there's the dog in Fallout and why it's named Dog Meat, because in
Which
the
Fallout?
book... Huh?
4.
All
Which
of them.
Fallout?
All of
All
them.
right, let's rate Fallout 1 through. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to kick you in the nuts from here.
It's New Vegas all day.
So it's basically like what all the Fallouts were based off of, and in the story, it's a 13-year-old boy surviving the apocalypse. In the movie, he's like 17, but essentially, it's about how he goes around and like rapes girls and steals from people and murders them and stuff. Yeah, no, it's not a pretty story, but the idea is that it's this 13-year-old who grew up in extremely harsh conditions, and in this
Yeah, but
world, there's an
There's a
underground.
better way to write an apocalyptic story. We've all seen The Road.
Yeah, and that.
I haven't seen it.
Which apocalyptic story do you know that does not include gratuitous violence? Like the idea of the apocalypse is always going to be violent.
Oh, yeah, I don't like reading about it like that, though. That's
I mean,
terrible.
Technically speaking, you could say that we are.
You
in
can
a
play
form
Candy
of-
Crush while you're eating.
You could play Candy Crush, actually.
I'm not playing Candy Crush, actually. It's off right now. There's
changed
women
the-
Snapchatting and messaging me. I'm trying to tell them to leave me alone right now.
Oh,
Because you're busy.
I am busy.
You should join our Zoom meeting through your phone.
Yeah, they should
So we have
join us.
two-
You'll be doing
cameras
two
on
things at
there.
once.
Oh, Lord, no. That ended up being really bad. We wouldn't be able to keep any of this.
So
This will have to go.
I have a question. What is something that you guys have done that you regret?
Besides joining this
Existing.
podcast.
We'll start off with existing. That's a hard
Okay, let me try again. What do you guys think existence means?
Existence.
I like the first question
Futile.
better.
Deep.
we're getting into philosophy now. Jeez.
I
I
mean,
don't have shrooms on me. I
This
can't
here
answer that
says video
question.
games, phones, and Candy Crush. And
wouldn't it suck if we just, when you died, literally, you don't see God, you don't see anyone, you don't see. The only thing you see is one person, one person who goes, "You should have got it done," and then they disappear, and then you just gotta like think of that the rest of existence.
When you're just trapped in purgatory. I mean,
No, no,
like-
nothing. Well,
No,
like,
but that wouldn't be a purgatory, depending.
kind
I
of.
mean, I don't know. We could go into it, but it's like, okay, so like, what do you guys think that like death is then? What do you think that like happens to you? What's your deal? I mean,
Wow.
I have a feeling most of us are going to be like, yeah, you rot in the ground, but
I
like,
think you
what,
just end.
I feel
People
like
have existential
lot of
crises about these
people-
things all the time.
the ideal thing is that we get reincarnated, right? So like you never technically die,
Yeah.
you come back as something else. That's always like an interesting.
Can I
concept.
get reincarnated as Craig? Just
no,
You already have
why
many
would you
times.
want that?
Oh, no,
well,
I don't know.
I mean, like, you could say a bunch of different things, but it's like, what if it's reincarnation? The thing I've always wondered is like, look, if you're gonna say the idea of like God or any of the Yahweh and Indian stuff is bullshit, you're saying reincarnation is bullshit too, because
I didn't say anything was bullshit.
like you have to like, it's weird, right? Because it's like if it feels like for other people it's a way for them to explain away their own depression and a way to like help themselves from avoiding the inevitability of death and stuff like that. But if you face it, then at the same time, I mean, you kind of are going like, well, you know, how do I put this? You're essentially doing the same thing. It's like your way of dealing with it and stuff. But then that kind of closes off the answer of like what the fuck it could be. It could be, you know, what is it? I saw this movie one time in the book. If you guys know anything about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, dictates that when you die, yeah, you're reincarnated and all that bullshit. But before you do that, you watch all of the events that lead up to your death that caused it, like your whole life. And then after you watch your death, you experience everybody else's perspective from above looking down at them. It's this movie called Into the Void.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds
That's interesting.
And basically, it's a guy who lives in Japan with his sister, and he's a drug dealer, and he gets shot during a drug raid. And as he dies, he's looking down at his dying body, and the camera starts looking from his point of view. It's a first-person perspective. When he dies, the camera lifts up out of his head, and you see his dead body while you're looking down. And then the rest of the movie, some moments go down into the action, and you're like looking at the characters close up. But for the most part, most of the movie is shot from above, you looking down at all the action happening. And it's really like bullshit, honestly. But at the same time, it's, you know, because like, think about it. Somebody when they were writing that fucking book was just going, yeah, when you die, you're gonna, so what happens is you're gonna float out of your body and you're gonna start looking down at your body. Really? Yeah. And then you're gonna like, they were bullshitting themselves. Like, you could literally say that about anybody at this point. And so I don't know. I've been wondering, like, why isn't everybody atheist to a certain degree? Why isn't everybody cynical? How do people who are religious, how are they able to not be cynical? How are they able to shut it off? Like, you literally reject the physical life for somebody you've never met, something you've put your whole life and your faith into and stuff like that. But then at the end of the day, it's like you could fucking die, and then the last thing you see is nothing. And then you go, I wasted all that time. And their argument is, but what if he is real? And then you go your whole life, and then at the end you do see he's real, and then you can go, cool. Like, that's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Depends on.
No, it's interesting.
Adam.
There's actually a philosophy that you are kind of touching on, but you're not quite there yet, called Pascal's wager, which is like this thing where it's like it's like a grid, like there's 4 parts, and there's like 2 columns, 2 rows, and I forget exactly the format layout of it, but it's basically like, you believe that God exists and you're wrong, nothing happens. You believe God doesn't exist and he doesn't exist, then nothing happens. But if you believe God doesn't exist and then he does exist, well then, if you believe in some version of hell, whatever, then you suffer that consequence. Whereas if you believe in God, that he exists, and it's true that he exists, well then you get whatever that good reward is. So I mean, it's a very simplified philosophy of looking at it, that basically like the most positive thing is to believe, because that's the only thing that actually offers a positive reward, whereas one option is like straight up bad and the other 2 are nothing. So that's kind of his philosophy. It's a very ancient philosophy. I think it's from a Greek philosopher.
Yeah, because it's like, if the thing I've never personally been able to understand, and the thing I always have trouble grasping, is being able to let other people do their own thing and not being able to chime in about what it is. But at the same time, it's like, in the same way they must feel, right? Like, how do you let other people go on doing stuff like that and not thrive when you know what could be good for them? I've had students walk up to me, right, and they're like, I think I'm atheist. And then because they got in so many fights with their family, they said, you know what, I choose to believe God is real. And that is the thing that baffles me, is it's the same thing with my Mormon friends. They're both like super drink the Kool-Aid, but both of them have had moments of being like, the religion's kind of bullshit. And they stayed in it. They're still in it. They've been in it for 28 years. So it's like, how do you, the weird thing is, right, is it's almost like we're never going to get away from a society that adheres to some level of religion, whether you're atheist or not. There's a South Park episode, right, where all the people become atheists, but they're all still like, we're the right atheists. I don't think that's correct. I really don't think that's correct. I feel like if you were to unburden yourself with the idea that there is something definite, that you would thrive more. My mother asked me a long time ago, we got to take a break in a second, but my mother asked me a long time ago, she and I got in this whole debate, and I asked her, like, why the fuck are you still going to church? You're gay. And that conflicts in the Bible, obviously, right? Like, enough people say, and it doesn't always, it's an iffy interpretation, but she's always been Christian, and I let her do her thing. But this one time she was saying, like, of all my children, Taylor, you're the most spiritual. Well, that's fucking bullshit. No, I'm not. I'm the one who's like never adhered to anything. My brother's a Satanist and he's all about glorifying himself. My sister's Jewish and maybe Catholic. I don't even know. I have always been like, I literally told her, I was like, Mom, that's fine. You can believe whatever you want. But, you say either God is in the sky or he's not. Cool. I say, you could go to another planet and find people with rocks for faces. You could go to a planet where there's lava raining from the sky. You could go to a planet where the planet is the living being. I mean, just thinking of ideas of literally anything you think of, you don't know the basis of physics. You don't know how physics works in different areas. Physics changes when you go around a black hole. So there's very likely that there's other creatures around black holes that we've never even perceived, that we can't perceive, specifically because their physiology does not coincide with the physiology we've existed in throughout all of our time. Let's get back to this. There we go. Okay, we're recording again, and I don't know where everybody else is.
I don't know, but since we are already recording, I will tell those of you who are watching. I was actually incorrect about Pascal's wager. It's actually not ancient. It's actually kind of more recent. It's from a French philosopher in the 1600s. So I was a little bit off, but I got the gist of his philosophy.
I mean, it's not ancient, but it's like enough so that I think it counts as a knowledge that we accrued. I mean, what is it? You would count Da Vinci as some level of ancient, right?
I suppose, yeah.
Hey, Elijah. We just found out Adam's a liar.
Yeah, I lied real bad.
I missed the first part. What was that?
You done us dirty.
Yeah, I lied to you, Elijah. I'm sorry.
Why'd you lie?
Because I could.
Did you guys try to rejoin and it wasn't going yet?
No.
No? Okay. Just making sure because I was like trying to pour my drink and it was taking too long. Let's see here. Okay. So I'm going to pull this script up. There it is.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I'll do that.
Yeah, wherever you want to pull that up.
It won't allow me to look at the thing and read, so I have to pull it up on my phone.
The Google Drive, you mean?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, it's all good. I like to be able to see what I'm doing and what you guys doing while I read this.
Yeah. And I mean, so for the listeners at home, basically what we're going to be doing from here on out is the second half of here's Ben. The second half of the show today, I'd like it if we could do a segment called Scripts That Don't Fucking Work. And I would have a...
What up? What up is?
Oh, some intro music. I like it.
There we go. Scripts that... Wait, let me do that again. Wait.
One more time.
Scripts that don't work. Okay. Scripts that don't work. That's what we're doing. So we're just waiting on Craig and Amanda here.
Jeez, Craig. Oh
Yeah, I
my
know, right? That
gosh.
piece of shit.
Loser.
Ugh.
So what we're going to be reading today is a script I wrote a year ago, Ben. How long ago did I start telling
like
you
that.
to read? Yeah, it's been a while. The only person I've ever known who's read it is my
Jill.
girlfriend. Yeah, Jill. And so today's going to be the first day that like anybody's ever really read it. What is it about, Taylor, you ask? So I did a lot of drugs back in the day, and
Did?
no, not a lot of drugs. So I just did the one. I was smoking a lot
That's
of
the good
weed.
ones.
I was smoking a lot of weed, and I was drinking a lot at the time. And basically, what Bury Your Heart is a stream of consciousness, one act that I wrote. It started as like trying to do a farce. And it turned really slowly into something stupider than a farce. Hey guys, good to see you.
Hello.
So I'm just explaining right now what we're going to be doing next with Bury Your Heart, the script, and how the script doesn't really have any like good writing. It literally kind of is me trying to write as bad as I possibly can.
Ooh,
And
I like the sound of this. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's supposed to be a comedy of errors of sort. It's kind of like, I mean, no, that's not a good
Shakespeare
example.
one.
It's a murder mystery kind of thing, but it's not. And it's all stupid. I don't know what my vocal tone is. So yeah, let me just tell you guys who you're going to be reading as. So
Here we go.
we have Alyssa.
Should we have the script in front of us right now?
You might want to have the script in front of you because you're going to be reading it in a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Alyssa is going to be played by Elijah.
Yes.
Barry is being played by Adam.
Okay.
I'm
Very
going to be
suave.
reading the stage directions, and I'm also reading for Dave. Jeff is going to be played by Craig, and Ryan is going to be played by Ben.
Okay.
So, just so you know, Adam, like,
Mhm.
Barry is a bear. And
Oh, okay.
then Craig, you're kind of a dick. And Ben is Ryan. Ryan's a big fat loser. Like that's kind of what he is. Yeah. So
I'm reading the character description right now. I see it says that
Wait.
I'm banging everyone in the play, and that
Yeah.
No, that's me.
So don't say too much. Don't say
Well,
too
that's
much.
me,
Don't say
man.
too much yet. Wait till we read it. I want to
Oh, I'm
surprise
Jeff.
you guys.
I'm
Yeah.
Jeff, right? I'm Jeff.
Yes, you're Jeff. Ben's
Okay.
Ryan. And Alyssa is Elijah. Alyssa is sexy. So Elijah, you get it, right?
No, I don't.
Let's start reading it. All right.
This suck.
All right. So this is Bury Your Heart. You guys all go to page 2. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
So, a single person comes on stage with a sign saying, March 1st, 2001, 300 years before the end of the world. They exit. A light reveals Dave, a lone hunter in the woods. Golly, sure is a beautiful day. What a nice breeze. Real nice one. Oh, man, I feel that. You know, when you're up here, you can almost imagine it. Pure and utter bliss. I envision myself sitting alone in a room, maybe a little drunk. High probably too. And I'm typing. Just typing away about, I don't know, probably this exact moment. Nah, that'd be stupid. I mean, there's nothing worth nothing. The world is bleak and boring. We grow, we live, we die, all seemingly at random. I mean, some certain collection of cells begat one cell, begat another until today. And what does that even mean? I mean, I could try to find something in this. Shit, there wasn't even one iota worth salvaging that wasn't already said by another creature. I guess if I really, really wanted to be profound, I could say all that's wrong with me out loud here in the forest. I once bent over in front of a mirror and looked at my butthole dilating. See? Solves nothing. It's all imaginary, something other people came up with. This life, this is typical. I feel free just being. Huh. He takes a long drag from a crack pipe. Man, this is some good crack. A gunshot sounds and Dave falls over dead.
Shit, I think I saw it.
Oh God, Dave! Dave!
Blackout. We open to a room being set up for a party. Hors d'oeuvres, streamers, party favors. Alyssa is running around the room trying to get as many things handled as possible, and there's a door in the kitchen with a banner saying "Happy Birthday" strung across it, and a door to the garage. There's a front door as well, in which Ryan enters carrying a box of supplies, drops it on the table, and then stands in silence looking into the box. Jeff snaps his fingers and breaks Ryan out of his stupor. Ryan exits for more materials. Jeff is setting up streamers above the kitchen door, but they aren't sticking.
This shit won't stick up here.
I'll just let that go in the garbage. It was a waste anyway. I forgot that Dave hates gold.
Ryan re-enters with another box, hearing the end of Alyssa's line.
Yeah, he sure did.
What was that, Ryan?
Jeff ineloquently attempts to slyly redirect things.
Hey, bud, why don't you set up the coffee table?
He hands Ryan a tablecloth, but he's still in a fugue state.
Anything else I can muscle?
Okay, I'm just going to stop reading all these stage directions. Keep going.
Can you give me a bra because my boobs are falling out of this thing?
She does an annoying laugh.
Just come on, we're waiting for your husband.
They cheesily laugh for a few seconds, then abruptly stop and stare into one another's face for what seems like forever. Ryan is running his hands through the box, but he's bug-eyed, staring into space.
I've been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't know how I would have taken care of everything without you guys.
It's no problem, Melissa.
They look to Ryan.
Are you okay, Ryan?
Yes.
You look white as a sheet. You don't need to do this party tonight if you aren't feeling well. Should I call Dave to cancel tonight?
No, why would you do that? It's not like he's dead or anything.
Hey!
Silence. Then laughter, started by Alyssa.
Okay, so we just need to get the coffee table covered. Jeff, could you actually raise the happy birthday sign higher? I think it'll get caught on the door right there.
Sure thing.
What else do you need taken care of?
Actually, I think that's going to be it for now. Guests aren't going to show up for another hour, so why don't you guys just relax while I finish up the food? How about a couple of beers for you guys?
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, I'll go get them from the fridge.
Alyssa exits. Ryan watches her leaves, then rushes to Jeff in a panic.
Jeff, what the fuck are we going to do? She knows something's up.
He doesn't know anything. Just remain calm. Nothing to be worried about. Let's just make it through the evening.
But I don't know if I can do that. I wasn't supposed to.
Alyssa re-enters from the kitchen. Jeff and Ryan separate in a rush and go to opposite ends of the room.
So I guess we're currently out of beer in the kitchen, but I might have a case in the garage.
Yes, it sounds good. Sounds good.
Oh, okay. I'll just go check, but I might need one of you guys to pick some up.
All right, I'm getting drunk. Alyssa re-enters the garage. Ryan begins pacing quickly all around the room and is hyperventilating. Jeff rushes to him.
Ryan, calm down, man. You're not helping us at all by freaking out.
But Jeff, What if she starts asking questions? I mean, it's supposed to be his birthday. We can't just act like nothing's wrong when he doesn't show up. We were the last ones with him. Somebody's bound to come prying eventually. And what are we supposed to tell them? That we accidentally shot him? That as soon as we went to help a bear, showed up and we just left him for dead? Jeff, it isn't so simple.
It's okay. The party is going to happen and nothing will be wrong. Just try to enjoy things and remain calm.
Fuck you. I can't be calm when our best friend is dead.
Jeff restrains and quiets Ryan.
You want her to hear you? Keep your shit together. Everything is going to be just...
Alyssa re-enters. Jeff brings Ryan into a chokehold, and they mock play fighting.
Okay, there wasn't any... You guys.
Hey, who's got you? I'm gonna bring you down. Hey, Alyssa.
So, no beer in the garage. Ryan, would you mind rushing to the store to grab some beer?
Ryan looks to Jeff and glares.
Sure.
Ryan exits. The sound of a car can be heard driving away as Alyssa looks out the window, then seductively turns to Jeff.
Well, he's finally gone.
Now, why would you wish for a thing like that? There was nothing
He grabs Alyssa's butt.
suspicious going on.
We shouldn't be expecting Dave for a while, right?
No, he's gonna be. Well, he's got a lot of issues to bear.
Well, well, good. It looks like we have all the time we need.
Alyssa leans into Jeff and kisses him passionately.
I waited for this all day.
Are you thirsty? I can't.
You bet, baby.
Alyssa opens Jeff's shirt and licks his chest and begins grabbing it like
Oh
a
my
boob. Jeff leans back in ecstasy.
Greta? Oh, Greta? How'd you know I was ready for some cow play?
Greta knows how to spoil all her naughty little efforts.
After a moment, she stops and pushes Jeff away.
No, we can't continue this now. Ryan is going to be back at any moment, and there's no time for milking.
Oh, come now, Greta. My others are full to bursting.
Have you gotten any details figured out for the plan?
Well, I got a guy hired. He might even be here tonight. You have nothing to worry about. Dave will be taken care of soon. I'll make sure of it.
I just don't even care anymore. As long as it's done, that bastard will never be worth my time or yours. I mean, he's so emotionally distant.
She wanders away to a mirror and begins to fuss with her hair. Jeff wanders up from behind and grabs her about the waist.
I understand. You need to relax. He's gonna be gone soon. He should have never played tiddlywinks with our emotions.
I've just been waiting too long.
I know. We both have. Why, as soon as he and I started to sexually explore, I thought I would be his only one. Besides you, of course.
And I thought he and I could be married forever, but as soon as I realized he had his own boyfriend, well, and I mean, to have to put up with Dave is so just unbearable. I mean, he's just so.
He's a dick.
He doesn't even use chip clips on the bags. How is anything supposed to stay fresh? It's just hopeless, and I don't know why he.
She begins sobbing into Jeff. He holds her.
Some people are just barbarians who don't understand that stale food is disgusting.
Like Arby's.
Serious piece of shit. I would know. We lived together for years. If anybody understands how terrible it is, it's me. I mean, I would even say I loved Dave. Then he just left his chips everywhere. Like a son of a bitch. It was bad enough he let me suck his cock so many times. All just to cast me aside. But I'm glad he found you. Because then we wouldn't have found each other. We would have never gone to IKEA and found my charming little couch and table combo set that goes so well in my living.
You mean our charming little couch slash end table combo set that goes well in my living room. Jeff, I want him dead.
Understood. It will happen. I can guarantee it.
I don't care how it's done. I just want Dave dead. I can't stay being married to him anymore. But I have too much to lose alongside him. This home, my TV, our Beanie Baby collection.
We can always get more Beanie Babies. I don't mind sharing mine.
It's not that, Jeff. It's just this will be the best way for all of us to get what we want.
Don't worry. Like I said, I already have a guy on it. We just have to be patient.
Oh, my love, you make me such a randy woman.
Alyssa bends Jeff over the couch and begins spanking him. He laughs like a clown. After a few
my
minutes,
God.
he stops and he leans into her kiss until Ryan walks in the door with a pack of beer. Alyssa and Jeff quickly separate and stand on either side of the landing. Ryan eyes them suspiciously.
I got beer.
Great!
Amazing, thank you.
She grabs the beer from him and starts to walk away.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Silence as Ryan eyes them.
You guys sure? You both seem tense.
No, we aren't. It's just
Jeff, why is your shirt open?
Silence.
My shirt is open because
because I was checking for lumps.
Ryan isn't buying it.
Really?
yeah. I was nervous because I was feeling my nipples earlier to make them pointy, and I thought it would go up. So I decided to tell Alyssa in confidence to get some help. So then she began checking my moves, but her hand was pulled, so I pulled away. It's just it's girl talk, Ryan. That's all.
Right, and I thought of a really funny joke, so I was laughing, and I doubled over, and my mouth happened to suck on his chest because I was just laughing so much.
Right, she was laughing so much, and I was trying to fart right then, so that's why I made a face like this.
Wait, do the face again.
Like that. I have more lines. Like that. And so that was when you had, you just walked right on in and without even knocking.
Yeah.
Silence.
Okay, but
Look, Ryan, everything is fine, just fine.
is it really fine?
Just fine.
It's
Fine.
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 It's fine, Ryan. You said
Fine.
fine. Fine.
The last
I'm
fine.
gonna
I just
start-
said the last five. God damn it. Fine.
Fine.
Fine. I'm gonna start the cake. Just don't mind me. I'll just go in there. There's new soundproofing Dave got installed, which never made any sense to me because why get soundproofing in the kitchen? Other that to use it. Oh,
Other
to use
than to
the
use.
room. No.
Alyssa trails off into silence as she exits. Jeff and Ryan stand awkwardly on opposite ends until Ryan breaks away and storms over to open a beer and begins drinking it. He stews in his rage, and Jeff approaches him in silence.
Now, I know what you're going to say.
What the fuck, Jeff?
Nothing happened.
That's what you're saying, but I don't know if I should trust you.
Dude, you're being hysterical.
Are you and Alyssa having sex?
Why would you think that?
She was sucking your boob. There's no excuses. I know you like your boob sucked.
No, she wasn't. I don't know why this is even a thing.
Because she's our dead friend's wife, Jeff.
He catches what he says and they freeze. They slowly look to the kitchen before resuming.
I know.
And because we should honor our dead friend.
I know.
And because you...
Ryan sobs.
And because you said I was yours.
He bursts into tears and Jeff softens his demeanor.
Oh, baby. You are mine. No one is gonna ruin that. Now come here. Take some sugar from the cookie jar.
He rushes to Ryan and embraces him. Jeff Rupp pets his head. They grab each other's nipples and twist them. Cries of ecstasy.
Wait! No. No, you had your hands on her. Jeff, we've been together for 10 years now, and are you still sure that you want this?
Why wouldn't I? Look, we planned this out together. You said it was going to bring us closer. So what is it? You don't trust me?
Jeff, I do trust you. It's just sometimes you tell me to do stuff you don't want me to do. Hashtag me too. And I'm a man.
Oh,
God damn it. And I'm a man too, you know? Just because I act this way does not make me the sub. I can follow through with schemes too.
Oh yeah? Like what schemes?
Well, I can turn on you, and there'd be nothing you could do.
Oh please, I know you. You like me being in control. So what? You can talk and talk for 2 seconds, but you know what will come around eventually.
Jeff, it was my idea, and we're backing out.
Can't back out of feeding your friend to a bear.
After you shot him.
Fuck you.
Okay, it's my line. I have to go pee really fast. Record time. Go.
That's not in the script.
That's not on the script. This is unprofessional.
I say we do the whole thing over again. I need another take.
Okay. I've got
Between
Cheetos.
me and Grill Daddy. So this is the next show after Much Ado, right?
Oh yeah, obviously.
You just grab a chihuahua?
Yeah, my dog was crying.
Oh.
He was like
Aw.
howling.
I thought I heard something in
What's
the
your name, buddy?
background.
Oh, his name's Cheech. Talking to the mic, Cheech.
And we're
Hmm?
back.
Hey, Song?
This is Cheech Hour, where Cheech talks about being a dog.
Oh my god, I've been drinking since 3 o'clock. Yes. They begin fighting, breaking some shit. Eventually, Alyssa comes back into the room with 3 Cosmos on a tray. She stands for a while, confused and worried.
Guys, stop fighting!
Jeff and Ryan freeze, look to her, and then start pretending like they're play fighting.
Whoa!
Hey, let go of my dick. Hey, Alyssa.
Sorry, we didn't see you there.
We were busy
Yeah, really busy.
being gay.
Are you guys starting to see why this script doesn't work?
No, we would never do this.
No, it's fine.
Doing this.
No, we would never do this.
This is bad.
All right, sorry, Elijah. I cut
Continue.
your line off. Keep going.
So, okay. Okay, so here's a couple of Cosmos.
Ooh.
Yum!
They all sip their Cosmos.
Wow, this is really strong. What's in this?
Olive Brine and Grey Goose, why?
It's just so strong.
Well, I like mine, I guess.
I don't know. I think I need something else in mine.
They fart, or he farts. I'll just fart, make fart sounds when he does.
What was that?
Nothing.
Jeff crosses to the mini bar where he tends to his stomach. Alyssa and Ryan sit awkwardly for a moment.
I'm gonna need about 30 minutes before anyone starts showing up for the party to get dinner prepared.
Well, how do we know what time is 30 minutes before guests start arriving if they haven't arrived?
The two of them sit and think for a moment.
You know, I really love what you did with the kitchen.
Ryan regards her for a moment.
Thank you.
It's just truly been such a blessing having the two of you as friends.
I'm sure.
Bitchier. Say it bitchier, Ben.
I'm sure. Bitch.
Another beat of silence.
So what's on Bravo these days?
You know, I really don't know.
More silence.
You sure? Because I heard a lot of gay people watch Bravo.
Okay, look, Alyssa. I don't like you. I've never liked you. I will never like you. In fact, I don't think I've ever enjoyed time spent with you. My friends have always bent over backwards for you ever since college. You know, when I found out your dad was a Nazi,
A proud boy.
whatever. When I found out your dad was a Nazi, I was going to turn a blind eye. I mean, it's 2001. There are lots of Nazis in charge, but you've gone too far. You're like a snake in the grass waiting to slide up some unsuspecting hunter's dick and lay eggs in their urethra.
I don't think snakes work that way.
But no, you just had to keep going on like some big old stinky poo-poo doo-doo butthole head. And I really don't know about you, but I can smell shit when it's looking me in the face.
Now hold on, if you're implying,
Oh, I'm definitely implying.
stop. Hashtag me too. Look, we need to get along. Your best friend will be here any moment, and I think
Oh, you can just go suck a dick, Alyssa.
No, it's supposed to be
No.
duck. It's supposed to be duck.
Oh, you can just go suck a duck, Alyssa. We both know why you won't let up, and I'm not inclined to discuss it right now.
what are you going on about?
You better check the shit stuck in your upper lip, Alyssa, because something stinks.
A long, a long drawn out fart begins and doesn't seem to have any end in sight, and then it finally ends.
Oh, you have a sound effect for it.
Oh my god.
Jeff, do you?
Nothing.
I won't stand for you talking to me like this.
She stands up.
Well, you're standing now. Oh!
She gets huffy and then sits and then stands, then sits, then stands.
Well, I just
She exits in a huff. Ryan looks behind himself to check that she's truly gone, and then he runs to Jeff at the minibar, who's having some intestinal issues.
She's gone. Quick! You need to check the safe upstairs.
I think I'm gonna shit my pants.
Me too, my darling. But look at me.
Ryan grabs Jeff in the face and they stare each other in the eyes, and Jeff seems like he's in pain. Another fart sound.
Was that a muskrat?
Nothing. Nothing.
I don't understand.
Ooh, go Ryan. Let's see.
I don't know where this is going.
Ben, it's your line.
It's your line, Ben.
Oh, you said it's nothing? Oh. Jeff, we need to stick together. I mean, stick together. Nothing is going to tear us apart. Not even her. I forgive you, I promise.
Okay. Thank you. Love you too.
Ryan embraces Jeff strongly, and Jeff is definitely in pain now.
Now, where's the safe of gold?
I don't know. The closet?
No, like you got to take a shit, Craig. Like,
I don't know. That's how I take a
can you do it? Can you do it like you start to push a little bit, but you're holding it back?
I don't know. Look, the closet.
Yeah.
There we go.
Keep going, Ben.
Look, if you can't remember, then you need to go up and look.
Ryan, I don't think I can even move.
You need to find the gold. It's got to be in their bedroom or something.
Do you think Dave has any pants I could?
I don't know, Jeff. Just,
Alyssa re-enters.
oh, hey, what's up?
Silent.
I was just. Is that shit?
Jeff needs to take a crap, right? Isn't that right, Jeff? Jeff?
Yes.
He
yes,
tries to usher
I
you,
need
Jeff.
to shit. So please move now. Move. I have to go. Fuck.
He exits. A moment of silence.
What did you do?
I drops in his vodka. Shit works every time.
Very clever, sister.
They step in opposite directions as they slowly begin laughing evilly. It gets more dramatic until they're full guffawing, insane like maniacs, and then they stop.
So I take everything went swimmingly.
Oh, it did.
And where is Dave?
Somewhere in the American River. Funny. Such an apt image.
Well, I guess that's as effective as being eaten by a bear. And what of the diamonds?
They were lost in the crossfire.
Oh, God.
Yes, I don't know what I'm going to tell
About how-
mother.
About how you're gay?
No, about how I. Seriously, is that still a big deal to you?
Well, I mean, Dad always said.
Dad died from being shot out of a cannon.
Stop it, stop it, stop it. This is too much exposition.
Silence.
You're right. We need to focus on the mission.
Right. Now that David is dead, we can just go.
Not yet. I have some loose ends.
You mean?
I don't mean my butt. You see, I left something behind.
Look, whatever it is, it can wait. We need to leave. I'm sure our associate is halfway to the Amazon by now.
This won't wait. There's a sensitive piece of parchment within a hidden space in this house. I've been searching all over, but it's difficult with all this sex.
Ah, yes, I know what you mean.
I mean, a guy can only take so much.
Wait, you never,
What?
you don't itch?
Of course not. I gotta play the part.
So are you actually gay or?
Listen, somewhere within Dave's old shoebox is a set of launch codes to get us home.
To Claxton?
Yes.
By the gods, we must hurry.
Quickly, upstairs, before he finishes expelling his waste.
Alyssa begins to exit, but Jeff re-enters, pulling his pants back on since he is only in his boxers. After a moment, Jeff notices the others watching him.
I wasn't. I don't take my pants completely off when I shit.
Okay.
Just people always ask.
Okay. Well, come, Jeff. Let's go into the kitchen. I'll show you how the kitchen is the furthest distance you can get away from
Heavily insinuating to Ryan.
my bedroom. It's almost as if all sound is dampened the second.
Ryan watches them leave and begins to wander towards the stairs, quietly, until Barry the bear enters and stares stoically towards Ryan, who looks flabbergasted.
Barry?
Hello, Ryan.
Hey, you guys. Or Craig, I guess, at least. You're muted. There you are. No, it's all good. You're the first back. All right, welcome back. We're going to finish this shit. And then, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm having a good time, right, Craig? I'm kind
It's
of
fun,
like,
man.
right? This is, like, really fun. This is what I wanted, though. Like, I kind of want to talk about this. I kind of want to talk about the whole
Alright,
experience.
I'm back.
Hey, good to see you, Adam. I think it's Ben. Elijah should be in here in a second. Hey, Benji. Yeah, no, right? Like,
Hello, hello.
doesn't this feel like oddly comfortable?
What?
So like this, doesn't this feel like good?
The script?
No, this, doing this. I don't know about like I know we're about to get back to reading the script and stuff like that, but I do just want to say like, okay, so like, I don't know how much you guys know about the things that I've been going through. Like I've been going through a lot of depression and like not even, I don't want to necessarily be like pity me or anything. It's literally just like, you know, all of us are going through some sort of depression and stuff like that right now. And
Right.
as I've been doing my work and my therapy and stuff to like figure out where's the root of my depression coming from, a lot of it is coming from a lack of having some sort of creative outlet and unification with other people. Ever since I've started using Instagram again, I feel connected to people again. I feel like I can tell jokes again. I feel like I want to tell jokes again. I feel like I want to entertain people again. And I think this is good, not just in the respect of like I'm getting to make this thing and put it out there, but you guys, I'm getting to help keep you guys in this too. And I want you guys to know too that the only reason I asked you four to do this, I could have asked my two Mormon friends that I've known for 20 years. I could have asked my brother. I could have asked a lot of people. I asked you four specifically because like, I don't know, you guys have shown a lot of tenacity to do the fourth wall. Like anybody listening to this, these four guys are the people who essentially have like shown some of the most dedication to being in the fourth wall. Craig's girlfriend as well, my girlfriend as well. Like a lot of people have been involved in the fourth wall. These four fellas are some of the best friends that I've made in that company. I just want you guys to know that like there's the whole reason I want you guys here in this Zoom meeting. The reason I wanted Amanda to be in here and Jill to be in here and everybody else to be in here is just because like, you know, it's weird, right? Because we're in this weird thing of being isolated right now. And so it's almost like people don't want to say things to each other. People don't want to, when we're doing this, we're going, man, I haven't seen people in days. But then when you get in the Zoom meeting, just saying something feels like it's taking a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And I don't do it often enough to physically say to my friends, like, thank you. Thank you for being a friend, and just like being good people in my life, and like
Trying to make grown men cry over here.
making me want to do these projects, because I wouldn't want to do these projects if I'm a shitty person. I can admit I'm a shitty person. I can admit I have fits of anger, and I can admit that like I've had some hard times dealing with my depression and stuff, but it's been a lot easier coming out of that, where even in spite of your own self being an asshole and stuff, you still got people coming up to you going like, no, I support you and I care about what you're going through. Like Elijah and Adam, you motherfuckers, you make me laugh all the time. Ben is my writing partner, and like every time I've gotten a script done is only because Ben told me to get it done. Elijah, the only reason we're writing the musical is because you said something about it. And Gregory, like, I remember one day going into rehearsal and being like, I'm fucking done with this. I'm done with like all of this, not just theater, not just friends, not just everything. I'm done with like living and stuff. And Craig made me feel like so much better that I chose not to be upset right then. Not that I was okay. It wasn't that you made me okay. You helped me be able to make a choice. So it's like weird, right? So it's like we all have a choice, but when you're surrounded by a good support system and you're surrounded by the ability of other people to support you, you are able to create a system for yourself that you are then able to support yourself. It's got nothing to do with other people giving you what you need. There's nothing out there that other people can give you that will help you. Other people can be there for you until you are ready to go, I have the power. I have the ability to push things forward. I'm a fucking psychopath. And like the only reason I get to do that is because I have people supporting me. So I just want you guys to know, thank you for being here tonight and doing this with me. And let's read the rest of this fucking script.
Yeah, let's get this done, man.
Let's make this a thing, let's do this again as soon as we possibly can. So we're on page.
How many more of these do you have? Like, I'm assuming there's more.
This is like the one script I have. If you guys just want to catch up, since Barry just entered the scene, we can just talk about it real quick. I wrote this in a fit of like literally. Dan Harmon said it best, and I intend to say this in our writers' meetings and stuff like that. But basically, you should not go out of your way to write a good project. You should go out of your way to write something, to write a piece of shit.
A project.
Yeah. If you can successfully write a piece of shit, anybody can go in there, edit it, and make it a good piece of shit. A lot of the time we're looking at movies these days and we're going, man, that movie was really bad. I could have written that movie better, is what you say to yourself. What'd you say, Elijah? You lost me?
I lost you guys for a second.
I'm here, baby boy. So a lot of people these days, when they see a movie and they get upset and they don't like the writing in it, they go, golly, I could have written something better than that. Oh, yeah? Go fucking write it. Go write it. Like, you can write something better than that. You can. Everybody can write something better than that, because you can go in there and you can go, I'm going to write a piece of crap. Dan Harmon goes and writes a piece of crap. Somebody good at writing fixes it. And then he makes $1 million. That's my goal.
You know what that reminds me of?
That sounds amazing.
This is kind of a side story, but you're reminding me of this YouTube video I watched recently where it kind of speaks the same thing, where it was about the original Star Wars when George Lucas. There's this whole YouTube video essay where the guy would.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, where he's all like, Star Wars, the original one that George Lucas filmed, It was actually everybody
bad.
hated it, and then when they went back and edited it, they took out all these scenes that made the beginning suck, and then it became the thing that everyone loves to this day. So that's like a
Yeah, I've actually shown that to my class. Great.
yeah, that's
I've
a cool
watched that
video.
many times. It's a really, really good video essay.
Yeah.
And I have a question for all of you. How many of you guys have heard of a story where the main character finds out that he comes from some sort of ancient lineage that he didn't know about initially?
Oh.
It's every fucking story. So just think about that. Like, it's not about writing something new. It's not about writing a good piece of shit because
Ooh.
you're not going to. You're probably going to write a piece of shit.
There's a wonderful. Have you ever seen the 13th Warrior?
No, but I've heard of it.
So, what's his name? Antonio Banderas
Oh,
plays,
nice.
plays an Arabic man. So of course it's 90s where that stuff doesn't address yet. But he travels with the Vikings, which is it's based off of a real story, I guess. Something Ibn Khalad. He traveled with Northmen for a while, and that's why we know that how Viking funerals and things like that were done because he wrote it down. But some guy wanted to write an epic like Beowulf.
Yeah.
And someone told him that no, there's no way in this modern time that you'd be able to write an epic like Beowulf. And that dude said, bet. And he wrote a book called Eaters of the Dead, which eventually became the movie, The 13th Warrior. And that, I just feel like that was like what you're talking about. It was just
That's cool.
energy. Like someone says, no, you can't. You said, bet.
There it is.
It's
Do
fucking
it.
crazy. The second you start to dig through those things and you go, man, how many projects of these are like, what's a story that you can think of right now off the top of your head that if you take your opinion out of the equation is probably a bad story? There's a lot of things that you could very likely think of. So when I was formulating Bury Your Heart, I was trying to shut off that inner monologue of mine that tells me no, that tells me I can't do these things. When I say I'm a psychopath, I feel like you legitimately have to, on some degree, be a psychopath in order to be successful. Almost all successful people, they literally say, you have to ignore the bad things that happen to you. You have to pretend like things are going good with those good things that do happen. That's what's going to make you feel better and keep you going, because eventually you're going to count on something that's going to count to success for you. So let's get back to the script and shit. Adam, you want to say something as we're going back to it?
Well, one thing before we do go back is like with what Elijah was talking about is like, I know for me personally, I have a project. I'm not going to say it on this podcast because it's still a little bit confidential, but I'll tell you guys about it a little bit later.
Yeah,
but
tell us about it.
Nah, it's too confidential. Tell
us
later.
what you'll tell us right now.
I'll tell you what I'll tell you right now. It's an adaptation of something that is already very successful, but you know, it doesn't exist in the theater platform right now. So
I kind of work with something like that.
Nice.
I think I sent you something like that. What was it? Taylor, I sent you something like that where it's kind of based off of something else, and we talked about it. Remember?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll when we're not being recorded, we'll talk about that later.
I know, right? It's hard because we're like, we know the 40-minute limit's going to hit eventually, but it's also like, I really want to talk. I really want to talk right now.
yeah, you know.
So yeah, we'll have more weeks of these. So you know,
yeah.
I mean, we're still going to figure it out, but we'll come back to this maybe a week or two. We'll see. Anyway, back to the script. We're on page 20.
Where are we going from?
We are going from the last line was Barry?
Barry?
Hello, Ryan.
Okay. Hello, Ryan.
They embrace.
Embrace. But I thought.
I died at the waterfall? Please. Dave was weak.
So he's dead?
Permanently.
Barry crosses to the bar and begins preparing a drink, which he tosses down.
I lost my gun in the current.
Shit. They could trace that back to us.
Let me just reiterate very quickly, just so you guys all know, Barry is a man in a suit, like bear suit. So it's like Adam's face, but like a bear's head above it. Okay, keep going.
Also,
I
like that
love
show
it.
with
It was not a real bear.
Elijah Wood. What was that show?
Like Wilfred, yes.
Yes.
Wilfred.
Oh, I forgot about Wilfred. Anyway,
Okay.
Ben, do you want to give me my cue line again?
Sure. Shit, they could trace that back to us.
It's fine. I cleaned it and left it next to a dead deer. Cops won't know what happened.
How did you get back?
A good amount of luck. And my hope to see you again.
Oh, Barry, I missed you so much with your honey-scented breath and your big, muscly, hairy chest.
I need to clean up, babe. Where should I go?
If you hurry, you can clean up upstairs discreetly. The gold is hidden in the furthest room.
Barry is sniffing some of the materials on the table and knocks some things over, causing a ruckus. So he's acting like a bear.
Is everything okay, Ryan?
Yeah. I'm just.
Ryan gestures to Barry for options. Barry feigns playing cards.
I'm just masturbating. I'll be there soon.
Wait, what?
Barry looks to Ryan incredulously.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Don't come in.
Ryan rushes Barry upstairs. Alyssa and Jeff enter, putting their shirts and pants back on.
I can't believe you. You were jerking off in my living room again?
Really, Ryan? Again?
Ryan is nervous.
Yeah? Yeah. I was. I've been straight beating my meat like a fiend, son. You know what I mean? Dropping loads, leaving stashes everywhere. Everywhere I go. Well, what about you guys? What's going on here?
Alyssa and Jeff look at one another.
Checking for ticks.
I tripped and my dick fell out.
Yeah, and I just happened to
She started laughing because
of a funny joke he told.
and while my balls fell out, they, you know,
Pop. Right in my mouth. I hate you.
They laugh nervous. Awkward for a moment.
Okay. Well, hey, Jeff. I forgot. I put my, speaking of balls.
After a beat, Ryan grabs Jeff and they rush out to exit. Alyssa looks confused, then sniffs the air, then sniffs the door. Then, looking suspicious, she turns to sniffing the couch. She perks up like a bloodhound and turns her gaze to where Barry was standing. Alyssa enthusiastically begins circling and sniffing the area, just like a dog, and ends with a howl. Ryan and Jeff re-enter.
And I'm just saying, if I can get my hand in, then start to feel. Hey, Alyssa, sorry, we were just discussing work.
Sure.
Did you find something?
Someone was here.
What?
Yeah, someone. Oh, and covered in hair.
Ryan begins to inch toward a lamp, vase / blunt object. Blunt ass object.
Blunt
is
ass
what I
object.
read.
Is this just ass sculpture? That would great.
That's ridiculous. None of us have any body hair.
No, really.
Yeah, Alyssa, this sounds a little far-fetched. I mean, body hair? Ew.
I'm telling you, there's someone.
Ryan busts the lamp / vase / blunt ass object over Alyssa's head. She falls to the ground like a lamp / vase / blunt ass object.
Ryan, what the fuck?
I had to do it, Jeff.
Why? Why in God's name would you do this?
Because
Ryan shoots Jeff, who falls.
I had to tie up a few loose ends.
Ryan walks over their bodies and yells off stage.
It's all right. You can come out now.
Alyssa shoots Ryan, who falls down. She slowly rises from her spot.
You!
Did you really think you could betray me, brother? You fool. Did you really think?
Jeff shoots Alyssa. She falls.
You son of a bitch. Why did you shoot me?
I don't know. I wanted to be like everyone else. What was that about guys being brother and sister?
Ryan shoots Jeff, which leads to all three of them shooting each other multiple times, convulsing on the ground like a big bloody breakdancing routine. Lots of gunfire. Preferably there's tons of blood. When it's all over, a moment of silence for everyone to take everything in. Finally, after about 10 seconds, all of them let out long, pained noises like, ah.
I broke a nail. Is anyone dead
My
yet?
leg.
No.
Nope.
They slowly get to their feet and look at one another before they burst out into jovial laughter.
What were we mad about anyway?
Well, you guys were fucking.
Well, duh, obviously.
Yeah, but like, what was that other thing? You guys are related?
Oh yeah, this whole awesome thing. We're like, funny story. We're actually like these interplanetary beings, funnily enough.
Yeah, and we both wanted to take over the world, but we wanted to get the diamonds first.
Diamonds?
Don't worry about it. And
Barry enters.
Barry!
A beat for all of them to look at each other.
Wait, but I'm fucking the bear.
Wait, so am I.
I was also given bear sex.
They chuckle. A beat of silence.
You son of a bitch.
I'll kill you.
Barry is my lover.
They begin fighting one another. A gunshot is heard. Jeff falls, dead from a gun. Barry had it in his pocket.
Oh, thank you, my love. I knew you would come for me. How did you conceal your gun? Bears don't have pop.
Gunshot. Alyssa falls dead. Ryan runs to Barry, but freezes when the gun is turned on him. Ryan raises his arms in resignation.
Barry? What are you doing, Barry?
All these years, just waiting for you to break it off with Jeff. But no, you were always too busy. Oh, I can't go to hibernation for winter. I'm going to Jeff's parents' house. Bullshit. I knew, because Jeff canceled to go to hibernation with me. How dare you cross me? I may be a gay bear, but I have feelings too. You just couldn't be bothered to put a ring on my paw. I dressed up for you, gave you warm bear's milk. And for what? For you to just plan on going back to our home planet without me? You know, Alyssa wanted to take me. She wanted me a part of her life. And she offered me a Mazda. What have you done? Well, I've seen an episode or two of The Bachelor to know who's getting the rose today. I have to stop you. You won't hurt anyone anymore.
A gunshot, and Barry falls to the ground. Dave enters with a shotgun.
Dave?
Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Cap.
Another gunshot. Ryan falls to the ground. Barry stands back up.
Ah! Took you fucking long enough. Why'd you shoot me?
Accidente. Sorry.
What do we do about them?
Nothing. Leave them.
What? Why? Can't we,
We can't eat them.
Oh, that's not fair! Oh, you sound just like Ryan.
Dave freezes and then turns menacingly and advances on Barry, who winces as if expecting a strike. What'd you say?
Nothing.
That's what I thought. You know, when you attacked me, I didn't expect us to end up boning. You providing me the most diabolical, sexually based scheme I ever devised. Have sex with all my friends, pretend to get killed by a bear, have sex with the bear, sew myself into the inner social circle of the forest creatures, pit my friends against one another through the charms of my sexy bear boyfriend. All to get the diamond treasure back from Alyssa and escape back to the planet Klaxon. It's almost too easy. Dave takes a hit of his crack pipe and then perks up.
Can I have some crack?
No! Now come on. It's time to go. Dave turns to exit, but waits for Barry, who follows. A beat after they exit, followed by another gunshot and a body falling. Blackout.
What the hell, man? What is this?
Okay. So
was this like a weird fever dream you had and you just
I
wrote
don't
it all down or
know.
something?
I had this idea of like
Based on a true story.
it started with the phrase "bare your heart," and yeah, I mean, I don't want to go that far, but it literally is based off of me, Ben, and Jill. It's like
Wait,
it's
who's who? Who's
yeah.
who?
Me and Ben are Jeff
Am I
and
the bear?
Ryan, and then Jill is Alyssa. It's not based based off
Barry?
of that relation. Yeah, obviously. Because you're covered in hair. Craig is covered in hair.
So is Brody.
So is
Oh, yeah,
Brody.
Brody-
That
Brody-
dude's
Brody's
hilarious,
got
but-
like a full-on coat. I love that dude's coat. It was like, I don't know where it came from, but I know that Alyssa, Ryan, and Jeff are based off of me, Ben, and Jill. Justin, not us, but like the dynamic of two guys who get along well, and then the girl, right? And then the girl is brother and sister with one of the guys, and then lovers with one of the others. Just that dynamic. I started there.
Mhm.
And then the phrase "bare your heart," I don't know what that was. So I talked to Jill about this during the break, and she essentially said this is a comedy of manners, this meaning that it is a comedy where I'm taking characters and I'm expounding upon their personalities in order to make a point, except to a further degree. So like importance of being earnest, or I
Comedy
guess,
Bears.
yeah. Is it a
Servant
comedy?
of Two Masters.
Would you count it as that? Because that's what I was thinking was like,
Think so?
how does a farce sound in my head? I love a lot of British TV, and this is what it sounds like to me.
Mhm.
So did you have when you going off that definition? Did you have a point that you were trying to make with the characters, or was it just before about where it was just kind of trying to write whatever came to your mind, or did there end up being some sort of philosophy to it?
So the philosophy to it kind of is like letting go of what's happening in the moment. As I was writing it, I don't think I consciously made the commentary. I think a lot of it was unconscious. Just like as I was going along, I had this issue. I've had this issue for a very, very long time of what is going on with my personality. What is happening? Why can't I write? What is my drive to it? And in the past, it really has been, I didn't think I was good. I didn't think I could do anything. I still don't think I can do very much, but utilizing the technique of telling myself that whatever I put down on the piece of paper doesn't matter. What matters is the end result. Then I can create something that works. The story itself doesn't work. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a part where Alyssa and Jeff go upstairs and then they come out of the kitchen. So it's like they're exiting through one
losing
end.
the gun.
Yeah, the losing of the gun, like everything is not supposed to make sense. The goal was to break the story. So like right now, when we're doing Apocalypse, which is the musical that Ben and I have been working on,
I kind of want to read that on here.
I would love to read it on here. It would be great if we could do a reading. I would prefer to do it with the company rather than this, because it's not just me, you know. It's both of us. Ben wrote, I'd say 80% of the jokes in that thing, 90%, a lot. He wrote most of it in terms of dialogue and jokes. And then I just did the songs more than anything and was in the room while he was writing the script. You know, eventually Ben is probably going to pass the script my way. And once I'm done with the music, Ben is going to get a hold of the music. And that's the kind of relationship I'm coming across with a lot of these writers, is when they meet a person who has a like-minded personality to them, they have an ability to give them their work and let it go. So if we're going back to the subject of Dan Harmon, you guys know about Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah.
You know about Community, maybe?
Yeah.
You guys know of it?
Yeah.
Do you guys know
I've
the
seen it.
movie
Yeah.
Monster House?
I heard of it.
Yes.
Old cartoon movie, animated movie.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was good.
Monster House was written by two people. I'll bring up a picture of the other guy. One of them was Mr. Dan Harmon. The other
didn't know
one was Robert Schraub. Rob Schraub is my favorite comedian nowadays. You guys, this is how cool these people are.
There's the crack.
I've messaged these
about
people
crack?
on Instagram and like stuff like that. These people respond. These people are like real creatives. This guy, Rob Schraub, I'll show you guys a picture of him right now. He's really, really fucking funny. He's on Harmontown. But
Yeah, he's really
basically,
funny.
him and Dan Harmon, you guys can see them right here. When they were about this age, 1995-ish, they wrote a bunch of scripts. They wrote about 20 script ideas and finished all these pitches.
Mhm.
While they were working on all of them, they got to the end and Dan was like, I think that's about good. And Rob goes, wait a second. What about a house that's a monster? They go in to pitch this idea. They have some scripts written and they get through all of them. They don't like any of them. They get to the last script and they're about to leave and Rob goes, hey, wait a minute. What about a house that's a monster? And they fucking loved it. And they bought it. They wrote the script. 10 years later, the movie appears. They originally wrote it as a live action film, but the movie appears and it's an animated film. They get some of the royalties, but it was rewritten by somebody. So this is the thing you need to keep in mind is that your work, again, doesn't need to be good. It needs to be done. It needs to be finished. It needs to be a story that works. I mean, do you guys like? There's this technique Ben and I use, right? We use a couple different techniques. One of them is our sketch technique. One of them is our story writing technique. You guys have probably heard the hero's journey.
Yes, Joseph Campbell. Mhm.
Dan Harmon redevised the hero's journey to fit for
Rick and Morty.
syndicated television, not just Rick and Morty,
Okay.
Community, for all of them. It works for syndicated television because the hero's journey works for bringing the hero back to the beginning where they start their journey over again every episode. It's weird to think, but like the better I've gotten, I mean, I don't want to say I'm a good writer, but I feel like I understand writing a lot better now, you know? I feel like I have a better appreciation for it. And
Same here.
now, yeah,
Same here.
Ben and I look at this as a formula now. We don't look at this as something we feel. If your story fits the formula, you're good to go. So Apocalypse, we kind of didn't have an idea for the story at all. And then one day we went, oh, what if,
We went with the hero's journey.
yeah, what if they fit into the hero's journey like this? And then the whole story worked, like all the way through. It's not a good story. I don't think, like, right, Ben?
It's a pretty good story.
Not that we're not amazing. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying if you were to quantify things, Ben and I are pulling from a lot of material. The whole story is literally based off of the zombie tropes.
Genre.
Apocalypse. Yeah, the genre storytelling. We're just copying other people's work. And I've noticed so much that literally it is.
Let's go ahead and say that explicitly because this is recorded. They are not simply copying people's work.
Yeah.
for legal reasons. We're gonna go ahead and restate
It is
that.
literally the script from Dawn of the Dead by George Romero. It is literally the script. He's dead.
I've actually
What the fuck is he gonna do
I've
about
never
it?
seen Dawn of the Dead actually.
People who owe his estate is gonna do something.
Come at me, bro. No,
We're
it's
not
okay.
copying. It is
I know.
taking inspiration from
There
different.
we go.
zombie
There's
stories.
the words.
It is a parody of a lot of different things.
It's parody. It's
When you're doing
parodying
these
the
things-
zombie genre. Yeah.
Well, like, okay, so I tried to do it today. I tried to get it like a rap beat. I tried to write a rap beat to stream through this, and then I was going to rap with it. But Jill and I tested it out, and I can't get it'll be delayed. So, like, if I wanted to do something, if I wanted to do something, I'd have to do it live. So we have to wait until I have a mixer. But, like, where was I going with this? I'm really fucked up right now at this point. I think that, like, when we're doing these things, I was thinking, like, well, I could just come up with a song. It doesn't matter how good it is. What matters at the end of the day is, are people going into it and talking about it? Was it something that took the audience's expectations and surprised them? A lot of the techniques I work with and Ben works with, and I'm sure a lot of you guys work with in your day-to-day life, right? When you do a specific thing, there is an expected end result. You may not think it all the time, but there are techniques for making people laugh. There are tricks to tell people and make them feel something.
Yeah.
If I go to you guys,
North Korea, you make them do it.
right? Make them do it. But, like, look at North Korea propaganda. All of it is like, Da, 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 bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Our great leader is doing great right now. And like that's it. That's it. But that works for some of them because a lot of them are on crystal meth. So look, if you imagine 90% of your viewership as on crystal meth, you will succeed. You will succeed. I guarantee it. Okay, look, we're in the last 8 minutes of our show. Do you guys have any closing thoughts? Any things you want to talk about or anything like that? I have this here.
For anyone who is watching, who is curious, Joseph Campbell, if you're interested more about the hero's journey, please look up his book, Joseph Campbell, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. It's great understanding of what what Taylor especially has been talking about the hero's journey. If you're obviously interested in learning more about writing in general, it's a good book to read, especially if you're thinking about writing your own works.
I have a question then. Okay, so like, I want to know real quick. Do you four people? You don't have to go on. You don't have to say too much. What's something you're struggling with? What's your hero's journey right now? What's a thing you're going through?
Context of what do you mean? Just in general?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's think on it for a second.
I mean, I'll take the floor if no one else is taking.
Please, Adam.
Just thinking.
So I had applied for a different position at my current work, and they gave me a phone interview like 2 weeks ago, and then I just got an email 2 days ago saying, actually, sorry, the entire hiring process has been canceled. So I was like, that's cool. Thank you for that.
Been there.
Like I really appreciate that. Like, it wasn't that they didn't choose me, it's that they took the entire hiring process and was just like, no more. Like, cool.
How do you feel about yourself right now?
Real cool. I feel fine. Honestly, I didn't really care about the position too much, but like, am I a little annoyed? Yeah.
That's good.
Looking
Anybody
tense
else?
over there, Ben.
Ben, what's up?
Looking tense there, Ben.
I don't know. So I'm kind of high. I don't know. I'm just dealing with the quarantine, trying to not go insane. I guess
But you got a new dog, and that dog looks.
I
great.
did. That's true. He's actually not my dog. He's my roommate's dog. But
Oh, okay. Well,
we all kind of take care of him though. It counts.
I mean, you guys are both doing something right now. That's the thing to count on, right? It's like not a lot of people are doing anything right now.
Yeah.
They're just sitting around in their houses and they're like thinking about what porn are they going to watch today?
Redhead.
Is it going to be good? Redhead?
Never a question.
Big butts?
You know what? I'm a lover of all types of butts. You can't limit yourself there.
Elijah, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm an essential worker right now. So that means I got to go out. I've actually been working almost every day, 5-6 days a week. As an essential worker, just meeting people. And let me tell you something. People are amazingly interesting on an average day-to-day basis, but then when you put people in a situation right now, like 2 weeks ago, we had a fight with 2 customers in my store because one of them was not, adhering to the social distancing regulations within the store, and that almost ended up in a fist fight. It amazes you how people take this stress and what it's doing to them in the public eye.
But you're experiencing it.
Oh yeah, I get to be there. I get to see it. It makes me feel like some days it's like, oh, thank I thank God that I get to get out and not be home. But then it's times like that, you're just like, you know what? Man, I wish I wouldn't be dealing with this right now. I'd rather be
It's
home.
like, do you want to see this?
Yeah.
Does your work
Yeah.
supply you with any protective stuff whatsoever?
Um,
Like,
Absolutely. My boss actually went and bought a whole box of extra large gloves.
okay.
Just because I don't fit the normal gloves. I go through about 3 to 4 pairs of gloves every shift.
Dang.
Simply because I just burst right out of them. He actually had a mask made for me before this all even started getting very serious. They provide everything they can for us. We got the shields and everything.
Oh, dang. That's
Yeah.
good.
Wow.
Hashtag
Craig?
Dollar Tree.
My struggle, probably just worried about family, just my family,
Yeah.
friends, you guys, my
I know
girlfriend's
you're
family.
close to family.
It's just kind of hard because it's just scary. What do you call it? This whole thing, I know it's kind of a simple way to say it, but it's just kind of a crazy wild card for everyone that no one was expecting. So knowing
Yeah.
of people that, they've already lost loved ones, it's just really scary. So just trying to deal with that
Yeah.
emotion, and still try to stay positive.
Yeah.
I think the thing we have to remember is that with COVID-19 and with the way things are going right now, it's not as bad as other things are. It's not a shitty thing. Other people have been through worse. They had less immunities. They had less friends. They had less like home. We have more than all that right now. So we're able to count on that. We're able to count on our friends, and we're able to connect through this. The only way these things ended in the past was with people doing quarantine and staying away from one another. We can do the quarantine, but we don't have to stay away from one another right now, you know?
That's true. Technology.
So
Going back to
on
Roblox.
that, thank you for watching if you've been watching. And thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
I know
Thank
it's going to seem weird and abrupt, but I'll see you guys 1 week, 2 weeks. When do you want to do this again?
I can do it next week.
One more week?
Sounds good.
Let's do it
Next
weekly,
Thursday?
yeah.
All
I'll have to-
right.
I'll text you guys because I'm going into finals week, so I need to make sure that I address that first. But
If you can't make it, we'll always get you at another. So we'll post these on Mondays, and we'll see you guys next week.
all right, it's been good.
Have a wonderful life, everybody. We didn't
You
even come up
too.
with a name. Murder Van.